in other news, Colby Covington, you must have seen this video by now. We'll play it in a minute, Brian, if you can. So Colby Covington is now calling out Ian Garry. After Ian Garry called out Colby Covington after winning his last fight, and rightly so, because let's be honest, if there's anybody on planet Earth with a reason to want to fight Colby Covington right now, it is Ian Garry. Need we remind ourselves that at the UFC 297, end of year, December, Las Vegas, the press conference, and everyone in here, put your hand up if you have effed Ian Garry's wife, right? That's pretty harsh, man. Do you know what I mean? I'm not standing here defending Ian Garry. I'm not standing here talking shit about Colby Covington, but I tell you what, that is the type of behavior that would result in an on-site kind of altercation. You know what I mean? Whether or not it's in an octagon or not. I mean, that's a low blow for anybody to say, right? I'm assuming you agree with that.
I mean, that's how Colby is, man. He's a blunt instrument. He's never been the most, eloquent trash talker, but he knows how to hit people where it hurts. So, and because of that, he habitually line steps way more than I think any other fighter does.
He's a habitual line stepper.
Yeah.
What is that a line from?
Step Brothers?
No, is it not Dave Chappelle?
Happy? Oh, yeah, it might be.
He's a habitual line stepper. Anyway, regardless of that, Brian, play the video because Colby went scorched earth on Ian Garry once again. I don't like playing this, but it is kind of shockingly entertaining.
Nerds and virgins, it's America's champ, the people's champ, Donald Trump's favorite fighter. We're in beautiful sunny South Florida. Most people, they work 60 years just to get a taste of the good life. This is what I live every day. We just shot 18 holes at Trump International, West Palm Beach. Now we're out here sailing on 7 figures and salty nerd tears. Usually when you're out here, it's all about fishing. Everybody knows when you're going fishing, it's important to have the right bait. So let me teach you all a lesson about how you bait someone. Ian Garry, you translucent cuck. You wanted my attention? Now you got it. Everybody knows why you want to fight me, Ian. I'm the biggest star in the division. It's big city, bright lights, and the most attention and eyes you're ever going to have on you when in fight. But everybody knows, Ian, you missed your chance. You had your chance in December to step on the same stage as me and have a microphone and say whatever you want to say to me. But you were scared. You were scared of what I was going to say to you, and you got the sniffles, and you cried your way out. That was just a taste of what I could do to you, Ian. All I did was ask the 5,000 people in attendance how many people banged your wife. It's not my fault every single one of them rose their hand. If you're scared of that, Ian, if you're scared of words, what do you think it's going to be like when you step in a steel cage with chaos? You just went life and death with a guy that does this part-time and is a busboy Outback. Dude serves bloomin' onions for a living, and you went to a split decision with that guy? Now you want Donald Trump's favorite fighter? That's a big step up in competition, Junior. You're biting off more than you can chew. You know what? I'm a giving man. I'm a kind man. I like to give everyone a chance. So everybody knows, Ian, what's in it for you. But what's in it for me? Tell me, why do I gotta go down in the rankings to fight some Casper the Ghost looking Irish kid who has a gold digging wife? Let me teach you the art of the deal, Ian. Let's come to a compromise. If you can meet these 3 stipulations, we gotta fight. Stipulation number 1. You and that gold digging whore got to turn your Instagram comments back on. And if you turn them off before the fight, you forfeit the fight. If you turn them off during fight week or after I beat your ass, you forfeit your purse. Stipulation number 2. Ian, we've heard you cry and beg on your knees, but we all know that you're not the boss and you don't wear the pants in the relationship. Layla, you got 60 seconds to convince me and the people why this fight needs to happen. So put your husband in the corner, get on your hands and knees, and beg. Now for stipulation number 3, my personal favorite. As you all might have noticed, something's been missing from my MyBookie promos lately. That's because I've been saving that spot for a special someone. Layla, you want to be a star? You want the spotlight? I got it for you, sweetie. You want your 15 seconds of fame, Layla? I'll give you your 15 seconds of fame right here for America's Pick of the Week. After I beat your husband, because that's a foregone conclusion, I will beat him. He's going to sit in the corner just like he does with all that cuck stuff you guys do, and he's going to watch while you get your 15 seconds of fame. Ball's in your court now, cuck boy. I'll have my lawyers draft up the papers. You got 24 hours to respond. We'll see if you're about.
Oh my God. I was just like having flashbacks and PTSD of how much I would be losing my mind. Jorge Rivera did a series of videos and I was in Australia, and every day I'd get out of bed and my mate Jacko would be there and I'd say, is there another video? And he'd be like, yeah, there is. And I lose my mind, and it was nowhere near anything as bad as that. I could only imagine what I would be doing. If Ian Garry is not on the phone, the moment he saw that and said, you better set that fight up. I mean, fair play to Colby. If that's what he wants, that's what he's going to get. I'd be blown away if Ian Garry didn't say, give me that man. I want to punish him. I want to smash his face in. Now, you could argue maybe that's playing into Colby and giving him what he wants. Who gives a at that moment there, right now, disrespecting your wife like that in all three terms of it? I mean, my God, that's pretty excessive.
He's my favorite.
Oh, my God. Hold on. So, Brian's favorite. So, Sean Strickland, Colby Covington. Who else?
Paul Acosta.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Who's coming on
Andrea
the show
Lee's
next Thursday,
husband.
I believe. Next week.
Thursday.
What do we think? What do you think about that, Harrington?
I mean, look, Colby, there's one thing he can do, right? He can get me excited to see him fight, despite whatever the results in the cage may be, right? Coming out of that Leon Edwards fight, you'd be like, okay, well, that's the last time anyone ever pays actual hard-earned money to see Colby Covington fight. Nope. He got on Fox News, talked to everybody about how he was robbed by these lefty judges, how they don't like him because he's Trump's favorite fighter, et cetera, et cetera. Now he's got a picture-perfect call-out of a guy who is rising up the ranks in the division, a legitimate contender who has shown a weakness in the wrestling game where Colby does tend to thrive. So it's like, I don't know. I could not think of a more, hand-picked, manicured call-out for Colby, but it all lines up perfectly. And Ian has given him plenty of ammunition up to this point.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it makes sense for both men. For Ian Garry, it's the guy that just fought for the title in his last fight, so that's a good logical progression. Even though I said I'd like to see him fight MVP, that makes more sense career-wise for Ian Garry. And for Colby, again, you get to take out one of the rising up-and-coming stars. You get to prove that you're still in a position to be respected, that you've still got it. And more importantly, you get to erase the memory of that bad fight against Leon Edwards. Because let's be honest, it was a bad fight. He never showed up. You know what I mean? Apparently, it came out that he had a broken foot. Do we believe this? Did we see any x-rays? Do you believe that?
The x-rays they were posted, and it did look pretty bad. I'll try to find them.
Okay, yeah, please. Yeah, I did see like some kind of talk about an x-ray, but I never looked into it. So what, he probably kicked his elbow. Right? That happens a lot. Throw a kick, you hit the elbow, maybe he broke his foot, which is unfortunate and is a shame. But it's not really an excuse. You know what I'm saying? It's a reason for why maybe you didn't push the pace more or whatever. That said, it was only until rounds 4 and 5 when he had his best work. I think round 4 was his strongest round. So that kind of goes against that logic as well.
Also ended the fight on top of Leon Edwards. You know what I mean? Like that. For the judges, at least as far as a visual goes, he ended a fight on top of the champion of the world. Seemingly, if there was unlimited time, Colby would have walked out of there with a win. So that does help visually.
No, visually for sure.
What are we looking at?
As you can see there, that's a big part of the foot, and it does look broken. And that's way up high on the foot as well. It's not one of the smaller metatarsals down there at the toe. So, yeah, I mean, no doubt it had an impact. It did.